Morning, guys. I just wanted to quickly show you how I got this price set up yesterday for Nasdaq. I was supposed to share this Nasdaq signal, but then I had to take care of some personal stuff yesterday, so I couldn't upload the video. So I'm about to show you how I did, and today's trade again. So as you can see, we have this. I'm going to, okay, let me go to the daily. Let me go to the daily. Let me go to the daily. This is not an analysis, a new analysis, it's just me showing you my thought process. We've reached this support on the trend line. We all saw this. And in a form of a correction, we broke out and we're correcting back down again. Now, at this point, we're not sure if we are going for a double bottom or we are just in this inverted head and shoulder formation. It hasn't confirmed as of yet. Based on how I trade, it hasn't confirmed as of yet. But I highly believe, me personally, I believe that the market is probably going to come to these areas down here for a double bottom on the trend line, because with my Nasdaq back testing and looking back on Nasdaq moves a lot in double tops and double bottoms. If we had drawn a line here, you would see that we have a double bottom. Every time the market reaches support, it does a double bottom and then it goes up. Let me just draw it quickly for you guys to see. You see, like these were double bottoms, double bottom, small one here. The double bottom is not supposed to look like the textbook one, guys. You need to understand and see a double bottom with your naked eye. This is a double bottom also if you scale it down to the smaller time frames. So with this, back testing that I've done, that's why I still believe, still believe that the market might push to the downside to create a double bottom on the trend line. So moving to the 4-hour time frame. Moving to the 4-hour time frame, my Wi-Fi is giving me problems, guys. I'm sorry for that. We have this trend line, this correction to the downside, and we have our first touch here, second touch, and we have our first touch here and second touch here. This is probably going to be our third touch, and third touch has the most power in the market. Hence, I have this clean. And I think this market has actually left me out. I was supposed to have entered around these areas, but man, I was out and about during these times. But now, looking at this, we have this impulse, then correction, impulse, correction. This is a correction, right? And scaling down to the 1-hour time frame. Let me just scale down to the 1-hour time frame. Now, this is a correction. This is an impulse. And now what we have here is a correction, which also has probably or has the possibilities of touching trend line and continuing to the downside. This is where my TP is, where I've said TP, where I believe the market is going to come most definitely, even if it doesn't just, come down here, but around these areas, right? So since we had this, what do we call this, impulse? We woke up Monday, it was a Friday, it was a holiday, there was no trading. So the market opened Monday and it had this skip right here. Now, with my experience with markets is that when there's a glitch or a space in the market might go down, but then it is highly, or it's likely going to come back and fill this gap. So hence I was like, okay, this market right here is going to come back to these areas, and I took my Fibonacci retracement tool and put it from the impulse top until the bottom right here, and then this is the 0.5 mark. There was the 0.3 mark. I marked both these numbers, and then the market moved until there. Well, the market moved right here. It was retracing on the 0.3, went back down, came back, went back down, and until it got to the 0.5 mark. So now this is a key area, right? And also on this 0.5 mark, we see that, okay, we have this touch, right? So, okay, before I talk about these touches, let me just, so of course I saw, okay, we are going to cover this gap. Now I was scaled down to the 15 minutes time frame. And then I saw this market forming a double bottom high here. So I drew this trend line in these areas. Right? And then I realized now it's creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and higher lows, higher highs. So I had drawn something like this right here. This is where I entered. Well, no, this is where I actually entered. Well, this is where I was initially supposed to enter, basically. But then I didn't. I ended up entering here because I decided, you know what, the market has to like come back and retest to these areas right here, and which it did here. And then I entered around here, and the market went up here, and then I actually exited around these areas on the second candle right here because the market was starting to retrace. I realized that no, even though I actually have moved my stop loss up to these areas, let me just close with these maximum profits that I have done. Then the market, and then I left the market because it was a Monday. Mondays, there's a lot going on Mondays, guys. So don't strive to make 100,000 on Mondays. Just 10K or whatever trading account you're trading. If maybe you're trading a small account, 200 is fine for Mondays, and then Tuesday you come back and try and make 1,000. Depending on the level of the account you're trading. So that's how I got this entry for Nasdaq because of this glitch right here. So now on this 0.5 mark, we have this first touch. Here it was resist support, broke out, turned into resistance, right? Now we have this second touch. Now with the way the market is moving for me right now, I am anticipating maybe a third touch, or if it doesn't get to these areas, I'm anticipating a third touch on this trend line before I can say we're selling. We continue to sell. Or now I have three probabilities with this one. Let me just scale down to the 5 minutes time frame. As you can see, it is really struggling to break this trend line soon. And now it has retested this trend line, right? This one, let me just fix it. Yeah, just like that. Right now it's failing to, now we have to wait for a confirmation candle right here, right? So if it does confirm, or, just engulfs or closes in an inverted hammer, just like right now it is, we enter, or maybe I'll even enter around these areas right here. Let me just go to the 1 hour, 1 minute. Because now what we see here is that we have a double bottom, right? First touch, go back up, second touch, and the market is definitely or most probably coming to these areas. Just like this movement we had here, this is a double bottom also movement. As I've said before, Nasdaq moves in a lot of double tops and double bottoms. Hence, I believe that we're still going to the downside, to these areas here to complete the double bottom on the higher time frames. So with that being said, I just want to show you guys. I'll wait for the market to break these areas, and then I'll put my buy stops here. And this is probably going to be my first TP when the market reaches these areas right here. These areas right here. This is my first TP, right? And then because we are on our third touch, first, second, and third, there's a possibility for the market to break out. So this might be the overall movement to these areas, and the market might also just touch this area for the third time, retrace back into the trend line, or even though it doesn't retrace back, but just closes above, and then another candle will come back inside in the pretense of what, a false breakout. And then that's when I'll know that, you know what, we are ready to sell or to go all the way to the downside. So with that being said, this is the signal that I'll give you guys. Well, I don't have a WhatsApp group where I'll be like, oh man, look at that, I removed this. Well, it's fine. I showed you everything that I had to. I don't have a WhatsApp group where I'll be like, okay, guys, buy, but then I can show you that this market is going to buy until these areas. This is the signal for today. And also you have news at 2:30, so you should be careful of that. Also, around 2:30, if you haven't entered the market, just stand aside for a bit, until probably 3. And then, as you can see, look at the market is passing to the upside on the 1 minute, of course, but wait for the confirmation on the 5 minutes and the 15 minutes time frame. So at 2:30 there's news, so you better be careful. And if you are in the market at 2:30, make sure that you've locked in your profits to break even, or maybe to small profits, so that if the market moves in a weird way, it takes you out in profits or break even. There's no loss that you have suffered. And that's that. And USDT also a similar thing, but then I didn't trade USDT yesterday. Oh, I moved my thing also this side. It was around here. It was this move around here. Oh, this one. Wait a minute. What's happening? It was this move around here. With this one, I was around these areas. I was like, okay. This is the movement that we have right here, right? And the market will come back to retest and continue to the upside. And it did hit TPs because this was the initial area where and now with this one, we have these beautiful 3 touches, 1, 2, 3, and also they can be in a form of a head and shoulder. As you can see, this is our head, left and right shoulder. So the market might just break out until these areas. But for now, in the morning, I just woke up and analyzed. I was like, okay, the market might sell for me because we have 1, 2, 3 major touches on this market and the touch on the trend line with an inverted hammer. So now, as you can see, the market is selling. I'm not in the trade. I actually missed the trade, but man, it happens. We have 1, 2, 3 also, and then it moves to the downside. It broke out, didn't even retest. It's approaching the 90%. So that's that. So hopefully we can see buy setup. Probably the market will just buy, come back here to retest and continue to the downside. So with USDT, I don't have a signal as of yet because I'm waiting for this formation or this sell setup to be complete, and then that's when I'll know actually what's happening, or that's when I'll let the market tell me. Because if it does do it, we have this overall trend line also right here, right? So there's a possibility of us breaking this one because we have something like this also, possibilities of us breaking that and moving to these down to these areas right here. So we'll wait for confirmations and all of those. But for now, we'll let it play out the way it is playing out. And man, let it be. As you can see with Nasdaq, it's trying to break out, but it's doing its thing. We have to wait for it to do its thing, man. We cannot just force the market to move in the way we want it to move. So yeah. Let me just see for the last time. I still believe that the market is going to move to the upside a little bit, but with that being said, man, it might not even do that. It might just break out and we'll get an opportunity to we will, because we also have these areas right here. As you can see, the market retested these areas. So it is a game of catch right now. But with that being said, guys, until the next session, this is your signal, and I hope you guys make money out of this. And if you guys do enter, please send me screenshots. I have an Instagram page called Progressive Trading, also just like my YouTube channel. So if you guys do take these entries, just take your screenshot with your profits or even losses, but then I highly doubt it's going to be losses, guys. If you wait for confirmation, if it doesn't confirm, wait for the market to tell you what it's doing, guys. Don't just enter because someone said enter. As for me, as you see right now, I'm not inside the market. Even though the market closed in this beautiful hammer right here, I'm not in the market. I'm waiting for it to confirm. So wait for confirmations, guys, and then enter with confirmations. Don't just enter in the market. And if you guys want me to teach you about confirmations, just comment down below and I'll make a video about these confirmation candlesticks and how you use them to make money in the market. Thank you, guys.